guys, Melissa here with TCT Crafts. Today we are going to work on a patriotic design. So we are going to use this swag. This was a wreath that was an older wreath that did not sell. So I was able to go through and pull out some of the florals and sprays and stuff that I had in here. And we're just going to reuse this base. I was able to, there was just a couple pieces of mesh I needed to replace that had some glue on it, but the rest of this is still good. So we're just going to reuse the base that we already had, and I just added this beautiful 4-inch ribbon to it. We're going to also add a few more strips of the ribbon and add some tails, so I wanted to stop and do that with you guys, and then we'll just finish the wreath out from there. So I'm going to take this D. Stevens, super pretty 4-inch, and we're going to go ahead and add another tail down at the bottom. So I'm just going to find 2 of these pine ties and just twist it together. Before I tie it too tight though, we're going to add some other ribbon to it. So I'm just going to cut this. And I cut it a little bit longer just because by the time we get done adding our other pieces to it, we want to make sure it's long enough. I left one a little shorter and one a little longer. And I'm just going to fold up the ends of this ribbon. It is a nice thick, like canvas, I think. Anyway, it's a nice thick ribbon. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of this 2.5 and a 1.5. So we're just going to add a little bit of this ribbon to it as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and open that tie back up and lay these right in there. And I will go ahead and dovetail. I'll dovetail these ribbons. And I'm going to keep it long for now. We can trim them shorter if we need to, but I want to leave them long so that when we get our picks and sprays and all of that in there, that we have enough length on the ribbon. Okay, so we have that. I'm going to flip it around and we're going to do the same thing up at the top. I'm going to find a tie right here. And I'm going to put that in there. And that's all of the 4-inch ribbon we're going to use, I think. We may put some on the sides. So let me just keep it here just in case. Okay, I'm going to add our 2.5 and our 1.5 in there as well. And just give it a good twist. And I'm going to keep the tails longer for now. And we can come back and cut them a little shorter once we get everything added and we know that we've got the right length on our tails. So I've left those a little longer, but we've got our tails up here. Now let's go in on the sides. And let's add a tail right in here. So I'm going to leave the top one a little shorter and leave the bottom one a little longer. I'll come back and dovetail those once we're done. I want to leave those for now. Okay, and let's do another one. Right in this area here. Let's go right here. So I'm just undoing that pine tie and putting that tail in there. I'm going to make the top one a little shorter than the bottom. But I'm still going to keep it a little long for now until we are ready to cut them. So we've got one here. I have one diagonal here. And let's do one diagonal here. So we've sort of created a triangle pattern. So again, I'm going to leave them long. Okay. So that's all the ribbon that we're going to use. And we will cut these. I know I'm going to need this one a little shorter, so I'll go ahead and cut it. Okay, so we've got all of our ribbon added. Now I'm going to add some of our bigger elements. So I know I'm going to be using our flocked stars. I have a red and a blue one. Just going to cut the little ornament hanger off. And I'm thinking I want this one kind of like right in this area right here. Now this is styrofoam, so it is very lightweight. So I'm just going to glue it. I'm going to add a bunch of glue. You can add a dowel in here to make it like a little pick if you want to. I'm just going to glue mine. Just going to hold it right there for just a second. Okay, and the next thing I want to add is I made these little ornament balls out of some leftover fabric that I had and a styrofoam ball. So there are lots of tutorials out there on how to make these, but I made two. So I'm going to find the side that I want on top. I'm going to put it right in here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of glue. And again, if you wanted to stick a dowel in there, you definitely could. I'm going to add a little bit of glue right here to have it touch right on that star. I'm just going to hold it for a second. If you don't have a handmade ball, fabric ball, that you can use an ornament. So Christmas ornaments work really good for Patriotic. So you can just find a big round red or white or blue ornament, Christmas ornament, and you can use that right here. Okay, now we're going to come up here and I want to put my other star like right in this area up here. I'm going to go ahead and add a bunch of glue. And we'll glue this little loop to that star as well in just a second. Another glue stick here. I'm going to add some glue down here, just making sure it's touching. And then let's add a little glue on our ribbon. Just like that. And I'll just hold it there for a second. That just helps kind of keep our loop. Make sure our star is attached good. Okay. And then we're going to put our other ornament ball. I'm going to put it right in here. So I'm just going to sort of make a little hole. So I want it kind of right in there. Okay, I'm going to add some glue right here where the star and the ball touch. I'll hold it for a second, then I'm going to go add, I'm holding that, I'm going to add some more glue up under here. So this is going to be a fairly easy design. We've got some very large pieces that are going to take up a lot of real estate here in our design. Now I'm going to take and add a dab of glue on the back of this ribbon and just kind of push it to the ball. Perfect, just like that. Okay. So we are going to take, these also came off of, this is an extra one I had, but let me show you. These came off of the wreath that when I took it apart. So we're just going to reuse these. We're just going to re-glue them into our swag here. And I brought in one, I had an extra one that I hadn't used, so I brought it in as well, and we'll add it to it. So let me just cut these down. So I'm just going to start placing them around the wreath. I'm going to go about, if I can get a good spot here, we'll go one right up at the top. And I'm just going to alternate the colors. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if I counted right. So I want to kind of push them in. I don't want them sticking too far out. Okay, let's go in with a blue one. Right in here. And let's go right under there. Okay, let's do one right up in this area. Let's see, I just did a white one, so let's go, since we have 2 blues left, let's do a blue. Go right at the bottom. So I'm just pushing that up in there where it's just coming out just a little bit beyond our swag, but it's not sticking, you know, it's not sticking way out here, having its own party. We've got it nice and tucked in there. Okay, and our last one. Right in there. Okay. So you could almost stop there. You got a couple little places that have a little bit of the green showing, but you wouldn't need to add too much, but we're going to keep going. So something else I took off was, I have these glitter, these are actually, I use a lot at Christmas time, but you can use them for Patriotic. So I've got two different styles. I have this style, and then I have this one here. So we'll just kind of alternate, and we'll use up some of these. Again, these were just pulled off, and we're going to reuse them. So I'm just going to go in and do the same thing. We're just going to kind of go in between where we put those other sprays. And I'm going to alternate between the types, which we can cut some of these down too. I want to cut this one down. Okay. Now I'm going to cut this one down. I don't want it that long. So if you have a wreath that doesn't sell, and you're able to easily pull off some of the, well, not easily, I mean, some of them I had to kind of yank, and that's why I had to replace a few pieces of the mesh. But if you're able to pull off some of your picks and sprays and reuse them, then that is definitely a good way to save some money and use for a different project. You can always donate your wreath too, and I do, but sometimes I'll look and see if I can just take and reuse some of the pieces, which we did in this case. And again, I'm just alternating between the two different styles. That way we have enough to go all the way around. I'm just going to pull that leaf off of that one to give me a little bit of stem to put the glue. These glue strings are something else. Okay. I want to go right up underneath, right behind this star. do one more down here. Right underneath the bottom. I think I want to put one. Let's get the different different style one here, because we already have one like that right there. And I think I want to put one kind of up in there underneath our ribbon. Okay. And let's see if we want to put some. I think I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait on that. We may add some more after we get it hung up, or after we add some of our other designs to it. This is what we have so far. Okay, now I'm going to bring in some floral. So we've added all the sprays, unless we just want to use a few pieces left for filler. We're going to bring in a little bit of foliage. So we have this really pretty red, white, and blue berry foliage spray. So I'm just going to take and cut it into pieces. And then we'll add this around, alternating colors. I think we're going to get, let's see, like 2 of each color. So I want a piece hanging down towards the bottom. I can find a good spot for it. That is not a good spot because I can't get it. There it goes. All right, I was finally able to get it to kind of push up in there. Okay, I'm going to cut this down a little bit. And I brought in 3 of these. So I'm going to go right up underneath our little ornament bowl there. And I'm just alternating the colors. And I'm using my bow as kind of my transition point. So everything below this bow is sort of going down. I cut this. And then as we start getting toward the bow, we're going to go up with our florals. So now I'm going to start transitioning and moving upward in an upward pattern with my florals. So I don't know if you can see that now that I'm starting to transition them to go up. This is kind of out and this is kind of down. put this one right behind our star. And I'm going to go ahead and cut up another one because I've got one piece of white left and I don't want to have another white right next to the white, which we're going to need more on this side anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up one more of these. At the time of this video, we did have these in stock, but it is getting Patriotic season, so I don't know how long they will stay in stock. Well, it's still spring, but you know, we as designers, we start decorating earlier than the actual season. So we are designing some Patriotic now. Okay. So let's get a smaller blue piece and go right up underneath our tail. Okay, now we're going to go in with a longer red piece so that we can go right up at the top. I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. And hit that with a little bit of glue in there. Okay. I'm going to twist this, just twist this around. Sometimes when you pull these apart, the stems come apart, so you got to kind of put them back together. Right in there. And you can see I still have these, you know, fairly snug with the design. They're not sticking too far, like way out here. Okay, I'm going to start working slowly start going, we're going to kind of start going down a little bit now with our florals. And I just skipped, I actually should have put a red here, but I wasn't paying attention, but that's okay. We'll just add a red here now. I don't think it's going to be that noticeable. You'd have to really be studying it to be able to tell. Okay, I'm going to go in with the white so I don't end up with two whites right next to each other again. Okay, now we'll go in with our blue. I think we're going to get away with just two of these sprays. So that works out good because these ones are a little pricier. Anytime you get like seasonal specific, like Patriotic specific, they tend to run a little bit higher in price. Like if it had been a solid blue or a solid red, it would have been a little cheaper, but since they're doing the red, white, and blue, they think they have to charge more for that. I don't know why. But I can guarantee if this was a solid color, it would be cheaper. Okay, so we have one more. I'm gonna go right under the star. Right there. Perfect. Super pretty. So we are just about done. Told you it was going to be easy. I don't want to forget this little area in here, so we'll do something there. I do have a little bit of these red flowers left over from another project. So let's add a few of these in. I think we're going to get 5. We have 5. Five little flower heads. So I know I want to help cover up the right in here where we have that pine from our bow showing. I'm just going to tuck one in there. I'm thinking right. Cut this down. I'm thinking right in here to kind of cover where we tied this in. And then we'll go right in here to cover up that little hole. Okay, here, let's do one. One right in here where we tied this tail in. And our last one, let's put it right up here underneath this star. Perfect. Okay, now I want to add something right in here so we don't just kind of forget about this area. I'm thinking maybe we add one right in there. Let's add one right over in here. So I'm going closer up into the center. So we went along the outside with them, and now I'm just going to tuck just a couple on the inside there. Okay. I have just a couple little stars that we can add. Okay, let's see. A red one. Again, I want to kind of fill in the center a little bit. So we'll add one right in there. I'm not super crazy about this blue just because it's the lighter blue. So let's go in with one more. think we're done. So let's go trim up our tails now that we know we're not gonna be adding anything else. This tail I think is pretty good. Let's trim these. And see, I'm glad we didn't cut these before, because you can see now that we've added stuff. That was not a good cut. Our tails are barely long enough. I'm just giving all these a ducktail. So we just were able to make something reusing the swag and wreath base that we already had. Didn't have to use any more mesh other than just a couple of pieces of red that I added. There was a couple places where I pulled some of the picks and sprays and it kind of ripped the mesh, so I pulled that mesh out and just replaced it with some matching red mesh. Other than that, other than about 3 pieces of that, we just were able to use what we already had. Okay, make sure, I think I got it all. So here's our finished piece. Hope you guys enjoy. Till next time. Bye, guys.